Sexyy Red's target audience has been and continues to be young people, young girls, kids. You can't complain about the Alabamas and the Jodis and the Tatianas when we're pushing out constantly Sexyy Reds, Ice Spice, Lotto, Meg Thee Stallion, all these women who have one plot. And we normalize images and narratives that push our young girls to sexualize themselves. Weird grown men are very nearby, and it pushes an even more dangerous thing where our young girls are in danger from older men and are being groomed by older men. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And welcome back if I didn't lose you with my last video. Welcome! I love to have you here another week. I love it. And if you have no idea who I am, you've never seen my face before, you have no idea what I'm talking about and who is this girl, my name is Tiana, and to keep a long story short, I like to yap about things that I feel like we need to be yapping about and we're not yapping enough about. So that's pretty much the plot. Today, I feel like we have a very necessary... Am I messing up my hair? Today, I feel like we have a very necessary conversation to talk about. So this isn't just gonna be a Sexyy Red is this, she's bad for the black community, we've all heard that before. I feel like we can all kind of agree about like the opinions as far as Sexyy Red and the kind of effects that we see that she's having in our community. But I want to take a different spin on it because I feel like Sexyy Red is a part of a bigger game. I feel like she's just a pawn in a bigger game, and that's what I want to talk about. I feel like every era has had their version of Sexyy Red, and it kind of gets more intense as the time goes by, but that's kind of because we're accepting more things, so it's just gonna get worse. Sexyy Red won't be the only of her kind in the future because she's a part, like I said, of a bigger game. So that is what I want to talk about today. So, Sexyy Red, born Janae Naira Wary. I probably just butchered that, but I didn't mean to. She exploded onto the scene with her very different, explicit song that I know we all know. I'ma just play it.
I'm out of town, thuggin' with my round. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. Where the niggas? I'm looking for the hoes. Quit playing, nigga, come suck a bitch toes.
Sexyy Red, in more nicer words, she's known for her provocative lyrics. She's known for her nonchalant attitude. She's known by a lot of people for just being herself. She's been seen and co-signed by industry heavyweights, the Drakes, Nicki Minaj. Sexyy Red has become the ultimate viral sensation. Alongside her must-read headline antics and definitely catchy and controversial songs, she's the kind of artist that is designed for 2024, where shock value, it is the currency. Shock value is what gets you the streams. Headlines are what gets you the numbers. It's not about the talent. It's not about the substance. In addition to Sexyy Red's musical rise, she's now ventured into the entrepreneurial space with her recent lip gloss collection. If you have no idea about Sexyy Red's new lip gloss collection, you, my friend, are very lucky up until this point, because I'm gonna tell you, unfortunately, you will now know. So Sexyy Red recently came out with this lip gloss collection called, had to do my research because I didn't know what it was called, but it is called Sexy Gloss, which features, how many is this? 8 different colors. Hold on, it gets better. And just to name some of the shade names, we have Coochie Juice, we have Booty Hole Brown, we have Yellow Discharge, we have Gonorrhea, we have Sex on My Period. Yeah. I told you, if you didn't know about this before, you were literally one of the lucky ones, but now you know, sorry. Sorry. To you and I, you know, this may sound a bit insane, right? But you and I also know that Sexyy Red isn't shy of controversy. This is just another one of the tactics that we can just throw in the pile. But we know when it comes to celebrities, there will always be people who are gonna applaud. Regardless of what these celebrities do, there's just always a fan base behind them regardless of what they do. Some people applauded the launch. They called it bold, they called it different and unfiltered. But many parents, critics, people over like the age of maybe 25, people with a fully developed frontal lobe, people with sense, yeah, there's a bit of a concern here. But the thing is, those parents, those 20-somethings, those fully frontal lobe developed people, yeah, we're not Sexyy Red's target audience. So it really doesn't matter what we think because she's not putting product out, whether it's music or physical product. She's not putting it out for people like you and I. Sexyy Red's target audience has been and continues to be young people, young girls, kids. But we'll get into that. Don't worry, we'll get into it.
But listen, I gotta be real. She's not targeting women like me. She's not targeting women in my age group. She's not even targeting women that are 20-something. We're too smart for that because we're more matured. She's targeting young girls. I'm talking 16, 15. Yeah, that's why she went to that school and she was trying to perform or talk to the kids at school, which is why she was, I think she was out there in front of the school bus, or she was on a school bus with kids.
School put me. I came up here, got you. Try to talk to the kids, get in the weather today. They gonna put me on me. Tell me I smell like weed. Watch this. He gonna try to get mad. Fuck that old man. Bitch, you're nobody. Bitch, you like I'm finna sit with y'all. They ain't come to see you, Otis. Otis? Bitch. You heard who they screaming for? I ain't gonna hop down on that. Oh, smack that
ball. She's not marketing to us, 20-somethings, 30-somethings, 40-somethings. She's targeting children, which is why I have a big issue with this. And you should too.
Now, Sexyy Red's persona, it is a modern day reflection of the Jezebel stereotype. This stereotype originated during slavery, where it was used to justify the sexual harassment and exploitation of enslaved Black women.
Type is synonymous with promiscuity, having an insatiable sexual appetite, and someone who uses sex to manipulate men. She is a conniving temptress who cannot be trusted. Accusing Black women of these traits and calling them Jezebels also attempts to connect Black women to the infamous, treacherous queen in the Bible called Jezebel, who is accused of having turned the heart of her husband, King Ahab, away from the worship of the one true God and righteous living. So the idea that Black women were naturally and inevitably sexually promiscuous was reinforced by several features of slavery. Slaves, whether they were on the auction block or offered privately for sale, they were often stripped naked and physically examined. So Europeans, they had an infatuation with Black women's bodies and saw Black women as exotic because of their distinct body type.
This term is first seen in the Bible. Now, Jezebel was queen to King Ahab. And just to keep that story short, in the Bible, Jezebel was King Ahab's wife who led him away from God's word, his teachings, and essentially led him to do a lot of things that God wasn't too happy about. And she died a terrible death. God was not happy with her.
Jezebel was a wicked and idolatrous queen who influenced her husband, King Ahab, and led the people of Israel into idolatry and immorality. Control and manipulation. The spirit of Jezebel seeks to control and manipulate others for its own purposes. It operates through seduction, deception, and manipulation of people's emotions and vulnerabilities. Witchcraft and spiritual warfare. The spirit of Jezebel is associated with witchcraft and spiritual warfare. It uses deception and occult practices to gain power and control over individuals and communities. Attack on true prophets and spiritual leaders. Jezebel targeted true prophets and spiritual leaders, seeking to silence their voices and hinder God's work. It uses intimidation, false accusations, and character assassination to discredit and undermine those who oppose its influence. Immorality and seduction. The spirit of Jezebel promotes sexual immorality and seduction as a means of control. It encourages people to indulge in sinful desires and acts of immorality, leading them away from God's commands and principles, jeopardizing the true worship of God. Jezebel's spirit seeks to replace true worship of God with idolatry and false beliefs. It promotes the worship of false gods and encourages people to turn away from the one true God.
Today, the Jezebel stereotype, it continues to surface in the media. We see it in reality TV. We see it, obviously, as we're talking about, we see it in our music. We see it in film. It's become normal.
Today, you can usually find the Jezebel archetype in music videos and all over reality TV. It also pops up in the policing of Black women's bodies and sexuality. Just ask Rihanna or Nicki or Beyonce.
She's very conflicted. She talks a lot about being a feminist and empowering women, but at the same time, she equates power with hypersexuality.
If that's what people ain't trying to hear, then all right, then I'm gonna start rapping about my pussy again.
And take a bite. Take these cookies. Take a.
And Anika, this is an ass.
Because the body of a Black woman is so beautiful in its many ways of curves and you know, lips and thighs and these things that we always point out. Now you can't see a female body just for being a strong female body. It's always got to be a sexual object.
And it's really hard for me to think of myself as a sexual being or an attractive being, quite frankly. So when I see all the uproar about my posts and stuff, I'm a bit confused. Like, I really don't understand because I've never seen myself in that way or in that light.
Did you and your husband make love that night to celebrate?
You know, I have to tell your audience that for some very sick reason, you were very obsessed.
Yeah.
I have seen so many, and I've been to the French Open, and you can see the women wearing mini skirts. You can see butt cheek as they play. And somehow that's not offensive, but because she's in this form-fitting uniform that covers up everything, basically, you're now saying that's disrespectful.
I've gotten so frustrated that I don't even want to play the game anymore. You know, I don't even want to have to go up against what the standard of beauty is.
In reality TV, we see it on shows like Love and Hip Hop. We see it on shows like Baddies. We see it on the YouTube channels. We see it in so many different ways today. But these shows, the music, these films, they often feature characters who are portrayed as overly sexual and dramatic, and in turn, reinforcing the stereotype. And I could go down the list. In music, other than Sexyy Red, it's essentially every female rapper. It's most of the pop art. It's most celebrities in general. Like, it's not even a Black woman thing. Like, that's just in general. In media, in TV, and we're gonna get to it, but it's not just a Sexyy Red thing, but I feel like it's just really harmful when it comes to Black women because there's a direct correlation that has history behind it, and it's like, we're kind of reliving it. We're kind of marketing it now. The Cardi B's, the Meg Thee Stallions, the JTs, Caricatures, the Lottos, the now Glorilla. Am I tripping? Glorilla's image over time, I think they tried to do it with Lakia, but Glorilla's image definitely has changed over time. And it's almost as if you have like this unwritten, unspoken thing that if you want to do music, if you want to do female rap, you have to be this way. You have to look this way. But when you think of the words that are tied to that Jezebel stereotype, a lot of it has to do with the female rap that we're seeing today. The music industry, the film industry, all of it. Like, it correlates with a lot of our faves. Now, while Sexyy Red may assert that she's just owning her, we hear that a lot, owning her sexuality. And the thing about Sexyy Red, she's been consistent. What we're seeing right now from Sexyy Red is who Sexyy Red has consistently been.
I was rolling some fat. Who you with? Bitch, my nigga. A couple zips, 2 cups of lean and his nickel. I just be chillin' cause my baby he a whipper. And it's fuck 12 cause both of us illegal.
She's a walking stereotype. The fame of Sexyy Red goes beyond just Black women, and it goes outside of just America. And I think that's the biggest harm. Because I know a lot of people be like, okay, like, don't listen to her if you don't like her. She doesn't represent all black women. Just, you know, watch the women or listen to the women that you like and da 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 da. But there's a bigger conversation that should be had as far as and it just seems like it's just one plot. Like, there's no diversity in the type of like female rappers that we're seeing. Like, they have different styles, but they're all naked. Like, that's a part of the plot. With Sexyy Red and celebrities and rappers and female artists like Sexyy Red, who have the same overly sexual image. For people who aren't in America, for the global listeners, for all these different people around the world, the Sexyy Reds, the Meg the Stallions, all these different women, they are who people see, and they see these women and they associate these behaviors with all black women. And I feel like that's a problem. So let's get into the heart of the issue. Sexyy Red, like I said, she's a small part of a much larger puzzle. The portrayal of black women and just black people in general in the media today, it's not accidental and it's not coincidental. I said that in the beginning and I'm going to stand by that because I believe that to be true. And the harm, I think the biggest harm comes when we do not realize how these images and celebrities and movies and shows and reality this and reality that, how it pushes this narrative of who the world believes that we are. And this isn't to say we can't just enjoy entertainment. I get that. I get a lot of it is entertainment. I understand that. But I mentioned this in my very first video, the battle between empowerment and entertainment. And I feel like we've definitely, check out that video if you haven't already, but we've lost the balance for sure. There's not a lot of empowerment. There's not a lot of positive representation. We only see like one type of woman in the media. And the ones that are pushed in front of our faces, we can't seem to get rid of. They all have one plot. We're no longer getting a multifaceted or diverse representation of black women. Why aren't we pushing the platform the artists like the Lady London, Flo Milli, Doechii, and even Coco Jones? I think Coco Jones definitely, she's blown up within the last few months to like a year. But I said this in the last video, when you compare the Flo Millis and the Coco Jones and the actual talent to the Ice Spices and the Sexyy Reds and the mediocre music that we're forced and force-fed to listen to, it's not the same hype, it's not the same numbers, and it's not the same push. Even Chloe Bailey, who is a beautiful artist, Chloe Bailey has had a hard time really finding her space in the music industry.
Talking to me crazy out of pocket. And it was so good too. It was so good, but it didn't get cleared. I shot that, put it together really quickly with my own shit, and I was gonna drop it last summer, but yeah, life happens.
I think she had like one hit, and that one hit, it was her shaking her ass.
'Cause my booty so big, Lord have mercy.
So it goes back to my point that if you're not feeding into this one narrative, it's kind of like you don't get the same push. Even Coco Jones, like when I see Coco Jones performing, not all the time because I think she still keeps it tasteful because her vibe is soulful and R&B music, she still has to show herself in some way. Sex has to be involved in some way. And it's not that there's a lack of talent in the black community. I feel like that's also fair to say. I don't think the black community is lacking of talent in any area, not even just entertainment. Any space at all. There's no lack of talent within the community. The problem lies in how the media intentionally chooses to elevate certain type of artists and celebrities, and not the ones of real substance, not the ones of real talent, not the ones who have real things to give, not the ones that'll diversify our palettes a little bit because we're kind of just hearing and seeing the same thing. We are now in an era where young girls are being adultified. It's either you're a child or you're an adult. If you're not an adult yet, you dress up as one. There's a lot of negative things that comes with this. You can't complain about the Alabamas and the Jodis and the Tatianas when we're pushing out constantly Sexyy Reds, Ice Spice, Lotto, Meg the Stallion, all these women who have one plot, who just, even the influencers, not even just these female rappers, the Jada Wadas, the Aries, like they all have such a negative, and all these women, like they're successful. Like again, it's not necessarily an attack on these women themselves. It's just, I don't find it ironic that all of them push something toxic in some way, whether it's being a baby mama, whether it's being naked, whether it's using men, whether it's have sex, be promiscuous, sexual liberty, shake your ass. It's only one plot. You can't complain that young girls are not acting their age when there's no representation of that. There's one type of black woman right now that is being pushed in the media. Young girls are watching baddies. Young girls are seeing Sexyy Red, and you cannot get rid of it. Young women are being taught to be adults. Young women are taught to grow up, are being taught to act older. They're being taught by the media to be hypersexual. Your body is the value. That's what's being pushed. I made an adultification video about it, and I kind of tied it to the beauty industry, but it's everywhere. It's easy for you and I, a 20-something, 30-something, an adult, a parent, it's easy for you and I to listen to a Meg Thee Stallion, a Sexyy Red, a Ice Spice, a Lotto, and be like, yeah, I love this song, da-da-da-da. And then once you're no longer in that setting, whether it's you're in the gym listening to it or at the club hearing it, we can step outside of that setting and differentiate reality from that music. We can go to work. We can go in different social settings. We can be normal outside of that because we have sense. Someone who's 13, 14, and even younger, 15, 16, who are only seeing these things, they cannot differentiate that. They quite literally think, okay, if I want to be of value in this society, if I want to have a lot of money and get the bags, and they're just being pushed that these very tangible things are what is of value, and they're being fed that, okay, this is the only way to do this. You have to be with this man. You have to accept that this man's going to treat you this way. You have to dress this way. You have to da-da-da-da-da. You can't blame them. They're doing what they're being taught to do. Even the women that, you know, are super mainstream, who genuinely have the talent, like the Lottos, the Meg Thee Stallions, they push like one thing, right? They push sex. They push use a man for money, use a man for fame, use a man to get an upper hand. They're not directly saying it in the lyrics. If you watch whatever music video is being put out for that song, it's showing it. And we keep getting different versions of the same type of women, the same Sexyy Reds, Ice Spice, Lotto. We keep getting the same thing. The media makes it so that this consistent image that's being pushed out and coined by the industry, it controls the narrative of who black women are allowed to be and who they are incentivized to be. And I can 120,000% assure you, this push of the media with black women, like I said, it doesn't just affect us here. It affects how the world perceives us. It is no one else's job to know about who we are. They don't live here. That is not the reality. Someone in Carousel, someone in Zimbabwe, someone in Europe, it's not their job to know, okay, let me do my deep dive on who black women really are. Let me understand who they really are. You know, I'm in New Zealand and I just went to a Meg Thee Stallion concert. Now let me go deep dive and do my history. Who are black women? That's not how that works. The media is pushing one type of black woman because they also want the world to believe that's who we are. What does that do? That creates division. That's why we're constantly seeing the Black Americans versus Africans, Black Americans versus Caribbeans. Like, we're constantly seeing Black Americans versus everybody. It's because everybody has a different reality of who the other person is. Black Americans have a very different perspective of how Caribbeans live and Africans live. Africans have a different perspective how Caribbeans live and Americans live. Like, we all have a different perception of who the other is, and it is not by coincidence. Like, okay, like, we get it. We know we can fight. We know we can shake our ass. We know we could take shots. We know we can rap. We know we can strip. We know we could be outside. We have the hairstylist. We have the lash techs. We have the nail techs. We have all these different things. Cool. Love it. All a part of the culture. Cool. Where are the black girls that farm? Where are the black women that build shit with their hands? Where are the Nepo black women? I would like to see more of that. Where is the TV show for the black lawyers and the doctors and philanthropists and engineers and the things that they do on a day-to-day basis? Because I know them girl trips be tea. Ooh, I just know it. I know the outfits would be tea. The kids' private schools' uniforms would be tea. The meals would be tea. I want to see more of us that look like the women outside of our community that we worship. Where are the black women who are immigrants who came to this country and did their biggest one? I bet you if you put a Jamaican, a Blasian, and a Bahamian on one show, you'd be entertained. Where are the black women who just travel for a living? Where are the black girls that do ballet? Where the hell is Lori Harvey? Give Lori Harvey a show. Give us a series with the OG YouTube girlies. They gave us a show with the Jadas and the Aries. I don't know who's on it now, but it's just, again, it's just, when they give us stuff, it's with the people that push one narrative. I want to see the OG YouTube girlies. Give me the Dieras, the Aaliyah's Face, the Aaliyah Jays, the Jackie Ainas, the Amber Martin. Give us HBCU series. Y'all want to see people live a crazy life? Your local Rattler has 20 stories for you that happened this year alone. Hell, give Nara Smith a show. I would listen. The wine that would be had when I see Nara Smith and Lucky Blue on my screen, I'd be sad. I'd be attentive. There's just too much for us to offer for us to just be given one thing. And we're not shy to this. I talked about this in my last video. The over-sexualization of black women, it's not new. In a 2018 study done by the American Psychological Association, researchers, which you don't even need to do research to know this, but I'm gonna just read it for context anyways, so hold on. Researchers found that black girls who are exposed to hypersexualized images in the media are more likely to internalize these messages, leading to lower self-esteem, earlier sexualization, and a distorted sense of body image. That sounds familiar. Huh. Young girls over-sexualizing themselves. Young girls acting grown. Young girls who give 25. Young girls who get the attention of older men who could probably be their dads. Have we seen that anywhere? Oh no, maybe it'll come to me. When young girls see someone like a Sexyy Red, a Meg Thee Stallion, a Lotto, a Jada Waiter, a Ari Fletcher, yeah, it sends a dangerous image.
Freak, freak, freaky, yo. Freak, freak, freaky, yo. All this ass that I got, man, I should throw it. Money, clothes, thick ass hoes. I like all my diamonds froze. This pussy store these niggas. Pussy be like, can you afford me, nigga?
And I feel like we say that all the time. I also feel like I'm not saying anything new, but I don't think we understand how serious it is. We know the Jodis, we know the Alabamas, we know the Tatianas. They are three of maybe way more. And I feel like we have a hard time acknowledging just how dangerous it is for the imagery that we're allowing black girls to feel represented by and to look up to, because we're not mad enough or we're not offended by it. We're going to see the effects of it very soon. Because today we'll get on TikTok and say, oh my God, the girls are so grown. How much y'all spending on prom? Da, 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 da. You can't say that. And in the same coin, like, oh, she's just being herself. Black, she doesn't represent me. We're not talking about you. I hope as a grown woman you can differentiate between having a good time to a Sexyy Red or Meg Thee Stallion song and going back to work or going back to reality. We're not worried about you. We're worried about the 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds who are only seeing this and think, okay, this is the way to go. The issue's compounded when you consider that mainstream media, it very successfully blurs the line between childhood and adulthood. Artists like Cardi B, they often portray young women in sexualized ways. When you take an artist like Glorilla, who, you know, she had a more laid back, chill vibe, and now she's pretty much naked, it sends a message. And
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed with Glow. And I was scrolling this morning and seen the video that she just dropped of the remix with Skilla Baby Mama or whatever, and it's like, you know, you standing there just completely nude at the top, and you know, you just holding your chest, which to me, she looks extremely uncomfortable, looks like she's completely out of her element. And it's like, I don't understand what's happening. I've never been the one to look at life from a conspiracy lens, or I've never been the one to say things like, oh yeah, you know, the industry is here to ruin black lives. But I swear, the more I begin to look at life from such a broader view, it kind of hurts my feelings that it's the truth. And it's just sad to see that they are really trying to slut black women out all they want us to represent is our bodies. They sexualize us, and the only thing they want us to put out is our bodies. Our sexiness is everything is about our bodies, our looks, just the sexual energy. Like Glorilla didn't even need the sexual energy. She was so cool the way she was, her, Cor Leray. But to see these two girls go from how they were to how they are now, it's like I can't help but to just say this stuff is true, and it's sad to see. It's like when it comes to the rap game, you don't really see women trying to focus on their craft or lyrically, progress or get better. It's like as long as they can just sing ABCs, as easy as 1, 2, 3, they'll find a way to twerk to that. They'll get that first catchy line off, and everything after that is just twerking and booty and tits, and it's like it's so overwhelming at this point. Like you can tell that nobody really respects the black women if it's outside of their body. Like, why do you think Kamala literally had Meg Thee Stallion? Of all the women that could have came and represented us as black women, you got Meg up there twerking at a political event. Like, you can tell they're taking us as a joke, just using us as puppets, just using us for their own monetary gains, man. It's like, if we keep this up, this is not going to end well for black women.
Even Cardi B has mentioned, and she's talked about kind of the harms of the industry and the music that she creates. Like, Cardi B she said this.
It's like these songs are activating like these demons that I killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that girl anymore. Like I just want to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that old Cardi anymore. I left that lifestyle.
All these different women and these different types of shows, it blurs the lines also between what is appropriate and what's not, what's real life and what's TV, what's okay, what's not. Sexyy Red's lip gloss with name like Coochie Pink and Booty Hole Brown, or is it Coochie Juice? It's marketed in a way that could easily appeal to younger girls. Because a girl like me, 24, someone who has a job, frontal lobe developed, yeah, the type of products that we go into a store, we wouldn't necessarily look at something with a packaging like the one that Sexyy Red has and be like, oh my God, I have to try this, This is marketed to a younger audience. The way that the packaging is, the colors, all this type of stuff, this is marketed to young girls. The 24-year-old, 25, 30-year-old is not going to see this and be like, oh, I must have this. This is specifically for young girls. Her fans find it funny and edgy. Like I said, everything that Sexyy Red does, she's just being herself. At least Nicki wanted the girls to get a job and go to college.
It's not cool to be a loser. Go to school, graduate, get your own. Because when it all said and done, they can say whatever they want to say about you, but they can't take it from you.
I feel like as the years go on, young girls are just being fed more sexualized images, and it gets more sexual and a bit more outrageous. It's happening so fast, y'all. And while all these artists that I've mentioned in this video, like your Sexyy Reds, they have the freedom to express themselves and create the type of music and art that they want to create. They have that full right. And like I said, if they're able to do that and be successful, props to them. I am no hater. We have to also consider that impact that their images are having on the generation after us that live on their phones.
I love your song.
Oh, you do? Thank you.
What's your favorite song?
Hell, love my songs.
Everybody knows her song at this point.
What song?
Ski.
Period. High five. Thank you.
Hey, hey.
How do these kids know the lyrics to this?
You can't be the
When young black girls grow up in a world where the most visible representation of women that look like them are just overly sexualized and hypersexual and just want to have, as the girls would say, this it girl, kind of hot girl outside lifestyle, it can distort their understanding of their identity and value from a very young age. And we're literally seeing it happen.
Hey guys, why are we in Walmart looking like two bad bitches? And a worker just comes up to us, a girl at that, and says, hey y'all, moms are complaining about your outfits. And I said, oh, maybe they should hide their children. She said, yeah, you guys are a little revealed though.
Oh shit, no.
It took you that long to say something to him? Look, wait. I understand. And my niece too. People tell me when they see her in the street dressed like that and everything, hey, I'm not going home. I'm gonna stay right here till she change clothes. Everything about to fall off. Don't put some sweatpants and t-shirts on for all I care.
And the media giants that push these images and push these artists, they don't do it because it represents black women. They do it because it sells. I don't think whatever label that signed a Sexyy Red really looked at her music and how, because I said she's been consistent, so who Sexyy Red is now is who she's been. They don't look at someone like a Sexyy Red and think, wow, she is so talented. This girl right here, she's gonna be here for decades. Yeah, this is gold. They say, okay, this is gonna sell. It's shock value, it's controversial, and it'll get people to talk.
And I've talked about this on my show, who owns these record label companies? Who signs a Sexyy Red? You can go out and you can get any artist in the world based on their talent. Why is it that when you come to Black America, you want to platform someone like Sexyy Red, when it used to be you platform people like Lauryn Hill? This is intentional. This is intentional because, you know, as Confucius said, a Chinese philosopher said that, you know, what is in your ears will eventually be what's around you, right? Music is very powerful.
I heard a saying that music doesn't need an invitation to your soul.
That's a great way of saying
it.
Yeah.
Our young girls are becoming the product. They're selling something and our young girls are buying it. So this whole conversation, I don't think it's necessarily an individual Sexyy Red image. I kind of just used her to push the overall message because she kind of just, she makes it easy. But we need to start advocating for our young girls, and we need to start demanding a more diverse representation of who we are. What we're seeing right now is not all that we are. I think there's a demographic of black women who love these artists overly and are super fans because they see themselves in these women, which is fine. But let's push the other ones as well, please. Let's please try to give our young girls somewhat of a chance to see themselves in different ways, to not just push the narrative, to just fight and not just be hypersexual and over-sexualize yourself to be this visual playground for young and older men alike. And we normalize images and narratives that push our young girls to sexualize themselves. Weird grown men are very nearby. And it pushes an even more dangerous thing where our young girls are in danger from older men and are being groomed by older men. Sexyy Red is just one part of a larger conversation. While she is definitely unapologetically herself, this issue isn't just about Sexyy Red's music. It's not just about her behavior. It's about the media push behind those like Sexyy Red and the consistency of it.
And here's my thing. How do JT, Ice Spice, Sexyy Red, and now Lotto all have the same first week numbers? How are they all doing 27K? To me, that seems suspicious. I think it would be very unlikely, probability-wise, this is just straight math, statistics, it would be very unlikely for them to have the same first week numbers. Something about that is very pushed. And I would even believe that it's part of a distribution package. You use a certain distribution team, company, and no matter what, your first week numbers are going to be at least 27K. And then after that, if you get any more, then we'll add more. Is what it seems like to me, because the likelihood of everybody doing 27K is not possible. Please tell me how Sexyy Red, Lotto, Ice Spice, and the other girl are all doing the same first week numbers.
How music works is this. Music is ran by the devil, magic, and witchcraft. Music is used as a way to push an agenda, okay? So what happens is, the devil's sole purpose is to get as many souls into hell, right? So what the devil needs is, the devil needs mouthpieces. The devil needs advocates. You know, say advocate, play devil's advocate, right? You need that. So yes, so when you have potential for leadership, when you have potential for influence, like I have a lot of potential for influence, right? So I'm somebody who's worthy to sell his soul. I'm somebody who's valuable for the devil. These people who have great influence, the devil wants them, it's like a scout. And that's what happens.
Celine Dion has a new commercial for her own brand, and it's honestly so creepy. It starts off with her walking into a maternity home in the middle of the night. Everyone is kind of giving her weird looks like, what the heck are you doing? As she's giving a speech about children. As she walks into the room where all the babies are, you can see each one in their respective color, blue and pink for boy and girl. Then she opens up this black box with this black powder and blows it everywhere, and then notice what happens. The boy and girl signs disappear. Creepy looking doll is next to one of the babies, and now they're all wearing black and white. She then proceeds to get arrested and said, "You cannot arrest me, my name is Celine Dion." This is some of the most dark symbolism you can see in a commercial, and this stuff isn't stopping every day, it's just getting
Jesus, I pray to Jesus every day.
Okay.
Yeah. How about y'all? Y'all love Jesus?
We love money. We ain't got babes.
Oh, okay.
It's just a few drops, but yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only. It is used for a reason, and it is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul, let me bleed on you. It doesn't not happen, let me tell you. Maybe not exactly like that, but a version of that has happened many times.
Oh my God, I wish I brought them.
Yeah, what is what are you just walking around set looking to do readings
Every day. No, they come to me.
Oh, interesting.
They come to me.
You are a witch?
I am indeed. The witchiest witch. Something happened.
Praying because I'm trying to show up for Ice Spice like I'm a Christian. Nah, I'm just no. I'm gonna just say this prayer so the Lord can protect us as we go through the rest of the night and the rest of our careers. You know what I'm saying? So everybody hold hands. Hold hands, hold hands. Lord, thank you so much for bringing this amazing group together right now with this amazing stream and our amazing teams, Lord. We are all from the same place, and we are all trying to get to the same place, which is the top. And we all want to experience different things in our lives, chat. So thank you so much for bringing all of us together. And I pray that you allow us to grow on other people, on each other. And I pray that you allow us to reach any measures in this life. And you just watch over us daily. You bless us. You allow us to bless other people with our work and our amazing craft. And you help us enjoy this night. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Listen, we get a bottle of rosé. Listen, shout out.
So let's say we at church right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to perform a song. What song are you performing for the church?
I would do Pound Town on purpose.
How you think that'll turn out?
They gonna probably like it.
Hundreds of folks are gonna come here to witness the Beyonce Mass, bringing together secular music and a religious message to tell a story of empowerment for particularly women of color, but for anyone who happens to sing praises to the goddess herself, Beyonce. Here we go.
Y'all, I'm out of breath because we sang Beyonce in church. Holy cow.
There's nothing wrong with a woman owning her sexuality, but you can do that in a tasteful way. And you can do it in a way that it's not the only thing you have to offer, which is how much of your body you're showing and how much of your body you're willing to give to get money, to get a trip, to get all these monetary and kind of tangible things. You're bigger than just sex. You're bigger than the plot that's being pushed. We are multifaceted, we're complex, we're diverse, we're talented, and the representation should match that. But that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it got you to think a little bit. Tell me what you think. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you disagree? Do you feel like I was doing too much? What do you think? Let me know in the comments, but I will definitely do better on getting these videos out weekly. When I started this channel, I told myself one a week, and I have not been doing one a week. But for those of you who stayed, like I said in the beginning, for those of you who are still here, who I didn't run away with my last video, I am happy to have you here. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. You love it here, and you know you love it here. Like the video, comment on the video, follow me on Instagram, and I will definitely see you guys next week. Bye.
I've been all in my phone, I got options, and I don't wanna tell you to drop it, but I don't wanna